take place. Back to the mall in the old school days, kicking it back with stories exchange. This is before everything changed. Oh, 245 at Mickey D's, Sears catalogs and memories. Eclectic is taking you back. Just turn the page. Took me forward. Everything changed.
What's up, everybody? Before everything changed, astute listeners would notice that I was giving you different intro songs for a few of the past episodes. Hey, if you like them, let me know. I can run a couple back, but those were on the cutting room floor before we settled on the tried and true. But I figured can't let them go to waste. You might as well listen to them, right? So yeah, let me know. Let me know which ones you actually like. What we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is before everything was content. So before everything changed, everything didn't used to have to be content. It didn't have, well, it couldn't be. It couldn't be because we didn't have social media. It couldn't be because we didn't have cell phones with cameras and videos. The things, listen, when you grew up in the 70s and the 80s and most of the 90s, it was no face, no case. It was no evidence for better or for worse. Like, oh, is a ton of things. You should have got arrested and beat up for it, as there's no proof that it happened. But also some of the cool shit that happened that you wouldn't believe. There's no proof. It's like if you weren't there, it might be you and a friend, and the wildest shit happened. But and then you go and try to tell everybody else, they're like, yeah, all right, but it happened. But these days everything's on camera, it's a video somewhere. But anyway, before everything was content, like you would go over a friend's house without calling. You would just you would be at home and say, "Damn, you know what? I want to hang out with whoever the fuck," and you just go over there. You just go over there, knock on the door. Parents open the door. If he or she doesn't open the door, you're like, "Yo, are they home?" Yeah. You hang out. No, you don't. You just go somewhere else. You either go back home, you go to the store, the next friend's house, whatever. You weren't pissed. It wasn't, I walked all the way over here because you walked or you rode your bike. It wasn't, you were just like, oh, okay. And could you have called? Yeah, you could have called, but no one called people like that. You only use the phone when women, but otherwise, you don't use the phone. You just go. and you go over, knock on the door. It's such and such. Hey, Mrs. or Mr. last name, even though that might not be their last name because they were never married. You didn't know. Anyway, you say, hey, can they come out or are they home? They're on punishment. Well, all right. Now, I was always the cool guy. So they'd be like, he's on punishment. Well, you come on in. I'm like, yeah, that's right. It's me. Anyway, but also, I don't want to be in here. You're on punishment. All the fun is outside. Sorry, gotta go. Anyway, um, but you would go and you would hang out, and then especially if you and your friend the parents were cool, then it's let's see if I can spend the night, or let's say if you can spend the night. And it would see now you would have to pause that, I think. But back then, that was the ultimate fun because you could only see your friends during business hours. When the street lights is off, that was it. But when you get to sleep over, when you get to spend the night, oh, that's after the street lights. That's extended fun. You never see your friends in the nighttime. And so that means you know what you do. You're watching TV shows that you never watched with a friend. You got to think about this. See, now you can watch anything with anybody, anytime, do whatever you want. The sleepover was the only time you watched prime time shows with a friend. If they weren't in your family, they weren't at your house. That was it. And say you're hanging out on the weekend, Saturday Night Live, come on, 11:30. You're watching them with someone that wasn't you, and you're listening to music. You're doing all kind of shit that you would normally do with someone you've never done it with because you don't have friends after dark. They don't come over. It's not a thing. You get up eating cereal and watching the Saturday morning cartoons with someone. It was a fucking incredible time. But I say all that to say that was living in the moment. That was having fun. And instead of live streaming your sleepover and showing everybody what you're doing whilst doing nothing. And that's the thing. It was just fun. You know what was fun? And this happened in the sleepover. This also happened when you just hang out with your friends. Video games. Video games. Wait, listen, I understand technology and I think it's dope that you can have a friend or a cousin in fucking Mississippi and you're in Seattle, Washington, and you can play against each other. That was something that unheard of. But also, why would you have a friend in Mississippi? Anyway, but it was unheard of in the 80s and 90s. And you could just throw in a headset and play. We would have loved that. If it was raining or it was snow and you couldn't go outside, it would have been great to throw on a headset and play Tecmo Bowl against somebody across the city, across the state, across the country. For then, but there's nothing better than just sitting on the couch, sitting on the floor, and just playing games with people. And you got the trash talk, you got the teasing, you got the distraction. Then if it's not a competitive game, you got the well, how'd you do that? And let's figure this out together game. And what made it better was it wasn't a guide. It wasn't, well, let's go on YouTube and see how they did it. It was brand new shit. Like, damn, you know what? I don't know. Try burning that with the fire. Oh shit, something happened. And then you just go find out. It was the exploration, the fun that you would have just sitting where people, you order pizza, you got Mountain Dew and you got chips and just having a versus live streaming it, doing it on Twitch. Now, hey everybody, look what we're doing, and now it's not fun. I mean, I guess it could be fun, but it's a different kind of fun. Arguing about favorite shit. Now when you say, hey, who's your favorite team? Now, we got to a point in the 90s where everybody's favorite team was like the Bulls. Everybody bandwagon. But before the bandwagon shit, everybody had their favorite player, their favorite teams, and they tried, unless you're a hometown person, but they tried not to have the same favorite. And it was funny. You would argue and debate, hey, who's the best quarterback? Who's the best point guard? And someone would say Magic. Someone would say Isaiah. And it was like, well, I think it's this person. And then, but it was squash. That was it. But now now you gotta have a hot take. You gotta say, hey, who's the best point guard of all time? Well, I think it's Robert Pack, and you just go down to Robert Pack. Shout outs to anyone who giggled, who knows who the fuck Robert Pack is, but now you gotta have a hot take and just to get engagement. So people will say, "Oh no, you wilding." Like any wilding that thinks that LeBron James is fucking a top 5 player of all time. Listen, you're engagement farming at that point because he's just not. Anyway, I miss arguing about favorites and who's the hottest girl and Apollonia or Vanity or Nia or Holly. It's so much fun. The lunchroom debates and things like that. But you also want it to be original and not like your friends. And versus now where you kind of want to be on the side of every. There's no reason. All right, you know what? I'm not gonna get into the Kendrick Lamar stuff. Really, everyone loves him. It's great. But all the experiences and the memories that you had growing up without video or photo proof, and the story is still the same. Like I could call up someone, I could call my man that in '85 XYZ happened. And I say, yeah, remember that day? And the story be the exact same. Yeah, XYZ happened. Like, yeah, I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. I could call up Chaz and say, remember when we were coming down the street and the other car ran the stop sign and then we hit the brakes and the car spun 360 and then slid into someone's driveway and we were safe. And then we just looked at each other and just wild out. It happened. Or when we hit me and my friends, we hit a deer. All right, so what happened was we were driving down the street and a deer jumped over the car. And all of us, our heads was looking, saying, wow, and followed the deer as it jumped over the car to the left and didn't see the other deer that was right behind it, and that's the one we hit. That 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 happened. Um, yeah, a lot of bugged out stories, but there's no photo proof, and it's and video, and we're better for it because I'm just saying the funny good stories, none of the yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to go on and have fun, even though this is content, but I hope you enjoy it and I hope you get a laugh out of it. But this is just for me to play back when I got Alzheimer's and remember some shit and laugh at myself. But in the meantime, in between time, this is before
Just turn the
everything
page
changed.
to before everything changed.